What's up, everybody? This is the Sports League Podcast. Back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got the co host, Amanda, ready to make some picks.
Absolutely. And full disclosure, guys, we are tracking a postseason baseball game over here. Go Mariners. They're my local team. So if you hear
Yeah.
any random outbursts, that's my bad.
If we see a Cal Raleigh home run,
hmm
we might be
Tied 2-2 at
celebrating.
the top of the eighth. It's a fun time to be on board that. If you guys want to tell us who your baseball picks are for the postseason this year, we'd love to hear your World Series matchup. I know we're a football podcast primarily, but we dabble.
Yeah, we've had Jerry Harrison on the show. We
Yeah,
do some basketball, we do whatever. Um, but yeah, it's hard to beat playoff baseball. It's a fun time of year for sure.
absolutely.
But let's get into last night's game. The 4-1 Eagles at the 1-4 Giants. By the way, this is week 6 game picks. Eagles Giants, man, we can't get these Thursday night games right. It's upsets almost every time.
Well, and it's just a weird year in the NFL, but I wasn't shocked. Like the Giants are just running on vibes. And I mean that combination of these rookies, we got Cam Skattebo who will run through a brick wall. We got Jackson Dart who is just high-fiving a ref who's standing there. The pictures from this game are I mean, that needs to be painted somewhere. Cam and Fitzy shirtless, ripping their shirts off at the end of the game. Like they were just
Yeah.
playing on vibes. And I gotta say, I think Jackson Dart and Cam Skattebo are gonna have the shortest but most fun careers in the NFL if they keep playing like they did this so far this season.
Yeah, I love Dart's running ability, but he needs to protect himself
Oh my
more. He
God.
already got hurt.
Baker Mayfield has been doing that a lot this season too. Like, fine, I'll do it myself and just trucking through people, like shoulder
Yeah.
through, head down. Like, oh, it makes me so anxious. Like, I get that you made the play you wanted to make, but do not risk a concussion. And I mean,
Yeah.
he had to take a little camping trip, and that wasn't even one of his runs. They sent him in the tent. I think it's
He had,
hilarious that the coach went in and he was like, "Is he good? We need him back."
yeah.
Like,
He had some visitors in that tent. He
yeah.
had the
They
coach. He
were
had,
they were checking up on him. They're like, we miss him. Can we have him back?"
yeah. So yeah, I mean the Giants jump out to a 13-3 lead. Philly rallies. I mean the first half was really back and forth. The Eagles led 17-13. It was 20-17 at halftime, but that Eagles offense disappeared in the second half. No
Well,
points.
the first half of the game was just 20 minutes of tush push. Like the karma from making America watch in primetime television 4 straight tush pushes, they deserve to lose this game. Like, and I like the tush push is effective, but I don't want to see 4 of them in a row. It takes so much time off the clock. It was so boring. Like, it's just the most mundane play in football. I don't want to see 4 in a row. Like, the karma for giving us boring Thursday night football is losing the game. Sorry.
Well, we think it's boring, but Philly thinks it's effective and unstoppable. That's
Well,
why they do it. That's their thing. And so the Eagles, I mean, look at the Eagles offense as a whole. It's boring. It's
yeah.
basic. And but they're unstoppable at the tush push. But they need to figure out
I
this
mean, clearly
offense.
they're not because they lost.
Yeah. But Jackson Dart has clearly provided a spark, him and Cam Skattebo, you
Yeah.
know. Um, and so Brian Dable's got to love that. Jalen Hurts. I mean, the Eagles were trying to get back in this. They're trying to make it a one-score game, and Hurts with a red zone interception.
Yeah.
So they need to clean that up. I think Philly's really. I mean, what do you think is the bigger issue? Do you think Hurts is struggling, or do you think it's an offensive coordinator play calling issue in Philly?
Some of the play calls, but also hurts. I mean, I'm okay with a quarterback taking a sack, but over his 3 sacks, he lost 17 yards.
Yeah.
He is dropping back too much instead of just throwing the ball away. He's trying to be stubborn, trying to look for an open play to run it, and like his awareness doesn't seem to be where it normally is. And did Saquon Barkley get body snatched this season? This is not the same Saquon that we saw last season. I don't know what happened, but I know they've been
Well,
focusing on getting the ball to some of our, diva wide receivers who complain publicly about not getting the ball enough. But if your team is losing games because you are adjusting the game plan to get the ball to someone and it's not effective, trade the player. Like if it's
Yeah.
not working and you're changing everything and losing games and putting your season at risk to appease one dramatic, I'll say it, player,
Mhm.
then I mean let him go. Let him go somewhere else. It just
I
doesn't
still
seem
don't.
to be working. And I think it's a combination of everything. I think it's the O-line isn't doing their job, the play calling is rough. Um, and we've seen the coach and the OC kind of arguing on the sidelines a little bit this season too. So it seems like there's just a lot of dysfunction going on.
Yeah, I think so. The O line, I think it's injuries. Landon Dickerson's been out.
Yeah.
They've been dealing with that this year. Um, Hurts missed a wide open Devontae Smith on a deep ball.
Yep.
He's got to hit those more consistently. And I have no faith in this offensive coordinator. He's never called plays before. I've never heard of this guy. And Kellen Moore, to his credit, did an excellent job last year. Um, and I think part of that too with the play caller is they're not committed to Saquon enough. You got to keep feeding the running back, get him in a rhythm. The first drive, Saquon broke a couple in a
Yeah.
row, and then they just stopped giving it to him. So yeah, they got to figure this out.
Yeah, that's
But
something we've seen them do like historically. As soon as something starts working, they try something else and stop doing
yeah,
the thing that's working. And I don't get it.
yeah, there doesn't seem to be any rhythm to the play calling.
Mhm.
It's just kind
No
of whatever.
consistency. Yeah.
Yeah. But credit to the Giants, they got a big win, 34-17 over their rivals. This is the last time the Giants won on Thursday Night Football. Eli Manning was their quarterback, and Jackson Dart was 12 years old.
I love that. It's so funny to
So,
me that he and Eli like there's just they don't win games. They're not a successful team unless they have some like quirky personalities on that team.
yeah,
Like as soon as
yeah.
they have some spice,
Mhm.
just some weird vibes, then they start winning again. So they're fun to watch. I hope everyone's watching their games because it's
Yeah,
interesting. We got chest bumps, we got players headbutting each other. Like, all right.
yeah. I think it's a fresh, it's a good vibe. After going with
Mhm.
Daniel Jones and the struggles that he had, bringing
Yeah.
in someone like Jackson Dart, bring some swag and, you
With his
know,
rich lady dog diamond collar on. He literally looks like a tiny dog carried around in someone's purse. Like that I don't like chains on the field. I get that it's their thing and players are into it. I just I just think it's a uniform. You shouldn't be adding accessories to your uniform. Personalize your cleats, do the thing on the back, do your patches or whatever, but chains just it's just a bad idea if you ask me.
Well, it's a bold move for a quarterback, and
Yeah.
it's cool when you're winning, but the second you start losing, then that's going to get old real fast, and so we'll see what happens there. But Cam Scatterbo, 110 yards and 3 touchdowns. Um,
Crazy. Speaking
yeah,
of unstoppable run games, I mean the tush push looked like kindergarten work compared to Cam Scatterbo just running through people.
he's got major Mike Allstott vibes. He's just going
He's
to lower his head and run through you, and it's so cool. He ran over Zach Bond a few times
Mhm.
last night.
Him making tackles to clear the lane for somebody else is crazy. Like
Yeah.
I would be scared. I would just like step away and be like, no, no, go ahead. No.
And then AJ Brown, you had Hurts and Saquon talking about a meeting, and AJ Brown post game was like, "What meeting? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
So there's something weird
He
going
didn't
on.
get invited.
Yeah.
The meeting was about him. That's how you know.
How do
They're
we
like, hey, what are we gonna
navigate
do about him?
this?
Let's get the ball to Dallas Goedert this game. That's what the meeting
Yeah.
was about.
Yeah. So let's get to our picks. This is going to be an interesting week. I have pulled within one game of Amanda, so I'm trying to catch her.
Oh, guys, this is the
Uh,
closest Alex has ever been in our picks ever. Like, this is unheard of. It is terrible. I mean, Abe said it best. Like, that's how you know this NFL season is just off the rails. Like, so many random upsets, so many like teams who drop 40 points one week, then get shut out the next week. Like, this season
yeah,
is so unpredictable. I still have no idea who a few of these teams are because they go from like
yeah.
40 to 0 to 27 to what? I have no idea.
I love it though. I think this is where I thrive, is in a chaotic season where there's
Yeah, because
upsets
you just
and
get lucky. You're like, I'm just gonna make a weird pick
no,
and see what happens.
that that's
That's
just
not
my higher
skill.
football IQ. That's all that is.
No, it's not. Mm-mm. Your spite
So
picks are just working out.
let's talk about the game that you're going to be rising at 6:30 in the morning to watch the Broncos and the Jets in London. Uh, Denver coming off an impressive road win in Philly. So they're feeling themselves. They're confident going into this game. The Jets are winless. I think this is a pretty self-explanatory Broncos win, right? Unless something crazy happens.
Yeah, I see Denver going for this. I mean, they left for London right after winning, like 3 or 4 hours later. They were ready to fly out. So they've been there, kind of getting ready, getting adjusted. And as much as the Jets defense and the players will be like, yeah, we're 0-5, the defense is the problem. They've been saying that for 3 weeks. Like,
Yeah,
and nothing they've done has helped. They have no takeaways, only 3 sacks over the past 4 games. Pass rush has been what they've been focusing on in practice for 2.5, 3 weeks now, and it hasn't gotten any better. And especially with this, I mean, we've seen Denver get a little sloppy with some of those throws and some of the plays. I could see
yeah,
maybe a takeaway here, but I think the Broncos are just that much of a better team. And it annoys me because the Jets have talent on offense. Their running
yeah.
backs are a fantastic duo, but they're just not putting up the numbers to reflect how good that duo could be.
I think they're close. They've been in a lot of games. They're not a terrible team. You know, they should have a win by now. The fact that they don't, I mean, it's the zero takeaways on defense, and I think if they get one, they'll break the seal and maybe they get
Yeah.
two or three. And so Denver needs to be careful of that. Don't let, don't turn the ball over and don't let one turn into multiple.
Mhm.
And you
That's my
should
thing.
have
If
this
if
team.
Denver loses, it will be the offense's fault because that defense is looking so good.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, Broncos should take care of business here and get to 4-2. Let's look at the 2-3 Cardinals at the 4-1 Colts. Arizona, I think, is going to have a hard time rebounding after that blown loss last week. They should be 3-2. Now they're below 500, and they're not learning from their mistakes. They keep shooting themselves in the foot on a weekly basis. Plus, you got Jonathan Gannon getting in trouble. He's on the hot seat, and the Colts are just a complete team. I don't see any way that the Colts lose this game to Arizona.
I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. is finally like getting into more of a rhythm. We've seen some like big plays out of him finally the last 2 weeks. Um, I think over the last 2 weeks he's had 7 big plays, compared to
Mm-hmm.
only two in the first few weeks of the season. But as much as the Colts do like giving up some big plays every now and then, I think overall their defense is going to be able to kind of keep him locked in. And I like this matchup. I think it's interesting because if you compare like the strength of one team versus the weaknesses of another, they're
Yeah,
very like they match each other very well.
yeah,
So it could go either way if the Cardinals have a good game. But they just don't seem to have any energy. Like I feel like the games that they've won, we haven't even seen them like excited about it. They just kind of seem like they're going through the motions right now. And the Colts are stoked. Like the Colts are
yeah.
rolling, they're energetic, there's vibes. We got Indiana Jones out here,
Mhm.
but I mean, this Cardinals defense is interesting. Like they've limited the 49ers in Seattle. They've handled them pretty well, but I think this Colts offense is so much stronger than that defense will be able to handle.
Yeah, I think they can keep the score down, to around, 20, 23, something like 26 at
Do we
most.
think it's going to be a lower mid-scoring game? Like, I don't think anyone's going to put up 30 points in this one.
No, I don't. And I don't think the Cardinals offense is going to put up much. And there's a chance Kyler Murray is questionable going to this game. So there's a chance he could miss. I expect him to play.
Yeah. My pick is
But
based on him being there anyway. I'm going to roll with Indianapolis.
yeah,
But I don't, I don't know what's going on with Arizona.
I don't have
We were
any
getting
faith.
so hopeful last season. And then
Yeah.
it I'm not feeling it from them this season. I don't know what shifted
Well,
there.
I talked about this on the podcast earlier this year about how I think they need a different head coach.
Yeah.
And if you're going to try to get the most out of Kyler Murray, get someone like John Gruden, a quarterback guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we agree on the first two, both taking Broncos and Colts. This is an interesting matchup here. The 3-2 Chargers at the 1-4 Dolphins. Chargers on a 2-game losing streak after starting 3-0. Miami's been a lot more competitive than people think these last couple of weeks, but their run defense was terrible last week. That's the reason they lost that game. They couldn't stop Rico Dowdle. The Chargers have to win this game. They can't fall to 3-3. They need to show up in this game, but the lack of offensive line is an issue for the Chargers.
Yeah, it sucks too because we know how good Herbert is when he has time to get the ball out, but when
Yeah,
they're pressured like that, and I'm gonna roll with the Chargers here, but there are some weaknesses, and we see it with the 49ers. If you have injuries and you have players like, especially on the O-line, you have to be able to next man up and sub someone else in and make it work. And the
yeah.
Chargers are just not adept at that. And I was expecting more from them with Harbaugh. Like he should know how to have like bring the practice squad guys in, like move the players around, shift them around. We've seen so many different lineups, especially at O-line, from other teams with injuries, shifting players around and stuff. And I'm just not impressed by them being able to handle their injuries, especially at that position.
Yeah, they got O-line injuries. They got running back injuries. Omarion Hampton, Najee Harris, both out. So next man up is Kamani Vidal.
Hmm.
Quentin Johnston with a fumble last week. So the vibes are not good in LA. But and then you got Mike McDaniel coaching for his job. I mean, I
Yeah.
think if the Dolphins lose this, he could be fired after this game. So this is an interesting matchup. I'm gonna go Chargers, but the Chargers better bring their A game because Miami's gonna be desperate.
Well, luckily for the Chargers, Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal, I mean, I think they're going to have a great game because this Dolphins defense is allowing 3.2 yards before contact per carry, which is second most in the NFL. So if they
Yeah,
can get that running game going, I think they can absolutely carve up that Miami defense.
yeah, yep. So we agree on the Chargers here, but that's an interesting game to keep an eye on. Um, 3-2 Patriots at the 1-4 Saints. Saints coming off their first win of the season over the Giants. Patriots coming off a statement win on Sunday Night Football against the Bills. Um, This is going to be an interesting game, but I think the Patriots are the better team. And if they can get to 4-2, they're really going to start opening some eyes here. That Sunday night win was huge for New England.
Yeah, I think the vibes are good. I think Stephon Diggs, revenge game or whatever. I don't think he had any hard feelings. Like it didn't f feel
Yeah,
like he was going
he
back
just
for his
wanted to show
revenge.
out.
And we've
Yeah,
seen players do that. Like Zadarius Smith's first game against the Packers, like he was running his
yeah,
mouth, shit talking and stuff before, but I didn't get that vibe from him. Like it just kind of felt like a homecoming.
yeah,
And he said after that game, he's like, to be honest, this next game, it might be a bigger test than last week. Like being able to replicate the process, we have to go in there with the right mindset. And like people saw what they did to beat, in that matchup. So I think it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to kind of replicate that and if they're able to take advantage of some of these weaknesses we're seeing on the Saints because we've been talking all season about how the Saints are just not, I mean, they're not putting together
yeah,
good games. Chase Young might be on his way back after missing the first 5 games, so we should see some improvement for this team. And I haven't seen an official update about whether or not they expect him to play, but they said they're obviously optimistic about him playing. But I think that they could definitely use him. And then Alvin Kamara was limited in practice on Wednesday with that ankle injury. So I think if they both don't play, it's going to be messy. I think if they can play, they might put up a little bit of a fight.
yeah.
But I don't know how anyone could pick the Saints here, especially after how good New England looked last week.
Yeah, the one thing New England has to worry about is fumbles, especially from the running back position with
Yeah.
Mondre Stevenson and those guys. But for the Saints, the only reason they got their first win of the season is because they won the turnover battle 5-0.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to do that again. So in New Orleans, the Saints are getting healthier. Got Taysom Hill back. getting Chase Young back, like you mentioned, but I still got the Patriots here. And if they get to
Absolutely.
4-2, that's going to open some eyes. And Vrabel's got this team playing well, so good to see. Um, let's go to the 1-4 Browns at the 3-1 Steelers. Dylan Gabriel getting a second career start. Steelers coming off their bye week and looking to kind of take the AFC North already. They get to 4-1. The rest of that division is not a threat at all, and it's a home game against the Browns. You can't, completely look past Cleveland here, but it's a great opportunity for the Steelers, don't you think?
Yeah, I think the Steelers should be able to handle this one. But what's interesting to me is the Browns turned to Dylan Gabriel to kind of get the offense, like get some vibes going. Like we've seen these rookies step in this season and take over
Mm-hmm.
and pull off a very surprising win. But this offense hasn't put up more than 17 points in 10 straight games.
Yeah.
Like they're just in this rut and they haven't been productive. They've had a better opportunity to prepare for this matchup without, having to travel overseas. So it should kind of help him rolling into his second start. He should kind of, the bright light shouldn't feel as bright this time. But I think the Browns are cursed in Pittsburgh too. They haven't won a regular season game there since '03.
Yeah.
And the Steelers offense looked great last week. I I
Last time they played, yeah, because they had the
yeah,
bye last week. But last
yeah.
time they played, yeah.
Last week, not
Yeah.
Sunday was still this week for me.
No, yeah, I think the Browns, I think they kind of try to play that way because their defense is so dominant.
Mhm.
They're very cautious offensively, like don't turn the ball over,
Well, that's
ground
how I
and
feel about
pound.
the matchup with the Packers. Like they beat the Packers, and then everyone's talking about them having to play Joe Flacco again. But like Joe Flacco didn't do anything in that game. They had 13 points. Like neither
Yeah,
quarterback. Not talking shit about Joe or the Browns
yeah.
offense at all. But like unless he's bringing the Browns defense with him, I'm not concerned. But we just haven't seen any spice out of a Browns, well, any of the right kind of spice out of a Browns quarterback in so long. Like their offense is just leaning too heavily on that defense.
Yeah. I do like their rookies, Quinshot Judkins and Harold
Yeah.
Fannin Jr. Get the ball in their hands, but I don't think they have enough firepower. The Steelers seem to be starting to click offensively. I know Calvin Austin is out, Jalen Ramsey is questionable, but Rodgers and Metcalf seem to be getting it going. Fryermuth is a weapon. Jalen Warren is catching a lot of passes out of the backfield. So give me the Steelers here. We agree once again. We're gonna have to start disagreeing at some point.
I think there's a couple. Just a quick shout out though. So the Steelers edge rusher, Alex Highsmith, went out with an injury. They put in Nick Herbig, who has been having an amazing time playing. I don't know what
Yeah,
their plan is going to be with Highsmith coming back into play because he is leading all players in pass rush win rate. They subbed this
nice.
guy in and he's the best, and now there are other guys coming back, and they're like, well, we'll put you somewhere else. Like that's what a great problem to have. Like, oh, our backup is the best in the league.
Yeah. Steelers know how to draft those edge rushers. They always
Absolutely.
have.
It's so
Yeah,
filthy. I love when the Steelers defense is playing well. Like
yeah,
they're just mean. They're hard. They're a tough team to play. Same with that whole division and their
yeah.
defense. Like there's just something in the water over there. I don't know. But
Well,
their
that's
defensive teams are so good.
I love those divisions, the North, and it's like black and blue divisions. It's physical, it's old school, and it's outdoors in the elements. And now you got the Browns moving
You make them
into a
tough.
dome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're such a dome hater.
I'm the biggest dome hater. If I wanted to watch dome football, I'd watch the Arena League. But anyways, um, let's go. We might disagree on this one. The 2-1 Cowboys at the 2-3 Panthers. Dallas coming off a blowout win against the Jets, putting up 37 points. Carolina coming off a big win with Rico Dowdle going for 200 yards, now facing his former team, talking some shit before the game. This is going to be a fun matchup. I don't think it's going to be an easy win for either team.
Yeah, I could see Carolina pulling this one off, coming off, the energy of the previous team matchup vibes, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Like
They're
they've looked really good for a
inconsistent.
few weeks now. Their offense has been rolling. We've seen some great offensive games. Even in the tie, they put up 40 points. Like Dak has looked
Yeah,
good. Dak didn't like
yeah.
that was a defensive issue on both teams. I like that Green Bay can't like they're either offense or defense. Sorry. Hating on my team, don't mind me. We can't play both sides of the ball well in a game, so I'm a little cranky. But I I was on the fence about this one. Dallas should win. On paper, looking at the numbers, Dallas should pull it off.
Mhm.
However, it might be one of those, I don't know. What are you feeling about this one?
Carolina could absolutely win this one. They're at home. They've got, they're feeling good. It depends on Rico Dowdle. I mean, if he goes for 200 yards again, all right, it's a Panthers win.
Yeah.
But I think the Cowboys they brought in Kenny Clark specifically for that reason to stop the
Okay,
run.
but they're still 23rd in
Yeah, they're still
run
not that
defense.
great. Well, they were
Yeah,
probably like 30th last year, so now that's
yeah.
slight
Like
improvement.
it's improved, but it's still
Yeah,
bottom nine. And Kenny
yeah,
Clark is like, yeah, it's definitely going to be a battle in the trenches. Trenches are going to win this game. Okay, so why aren't your trenches doing better? Like they literally
yeah,
made a trade and brought you in to help with this, and we're still not seeing as much of an improvement as they should have had.
yep,
And the Panthers don't know who they are from week to week.
yep.
So I mean, I
This is a
do think they're
tough one.
gonna rely on the run game again. But the Cowboys are the only team in the NFL scoring and allowing 30 points per game. They're just like their
Well,
defense sucks, but their offense is matching. Like it's balancing it out. So it's literally a
so
coin flip here. I don't know.
all right, follow me on this logic here. Let's say
Okay,
if
hit
we
me.
look at both these teams, they're pretty evenly matched roster-wise, right? It could
Yeah.
go any way. What's the big difference? Let's look at quarterback. Dak Prescott, who's been playing at an MVP level the last couple weeks. Bryce Young still inconsistent. Has
Yeah.
moments where he's playing, great, but has moments where he's playing like trash. Give me the Cowboys with that advantage.
But Carolina's got the better run game by a lot.
Not a lot. Javante Williams has been doing all right.
Well, Rico, okay, so if Rico keeps playing like he did last week, I feel like that
Yeah,
was
he
his
got to
breakout
200.
game. And he's
Yeah, I don't
going
think he's
against
going to do
his,
that again.
but he's going against his previous team. We talked about the Stephon Diggs revenge game. We don't think Rico's going to be fire against his old team?
Well, he's talking shit. Maybe the Cowboys defense is going to be ready for him. Maybe they play their best run defense of the year.
Or maybe he's Baker Mayfield, and as soon as someone tries to get in his face about it, he's cured. He's all better, and he puts up a performance.
Again, I'll say if Rico Dowdle goes for
200
200,
again?
then they win.
Yeah.
You know, that's the key of the game.
So I wrote down Dallas. I feel like I'm going to stick with it just because it's such a coin flip one. But if you want to roll with Carolina, I could easily see it going either way. I don't know what your plan is here, but Dallas should win.
Yeah,
Does that mean anything?
I'm leaning Dallas. Oh, I might circle back. You
Okay.
might hear me later in the podcast say, you know what, I'm taking the Panthers, but for right now, I'm with you on Dallas. I
Fair
think that's
enough.
a smart pick. So you're
We
just
got
trying to set
extra
me
innings
up.
in the Mariners game, guys.
What's the score over there?
2-2, heading into the 10th.
Nice. I
Yeah.
love extra innings. Get rid of
Not
that.
when it's your team. Chicago Cubs World Series can fight me. That's all I'm gonna say.
But I can see your moves here. You want me to pick the Panthers because you're playing
Listen,
chess here so that you
okay,
can
but see,
close
you
the
got
in
mad at
on
me.
me.
I talked you into picking the Bucks in a game they should have lost, and they won.
Yeah.
Every time I've talked you into a pick this season, it's worked out in your favor. So
No, you talked me into the Bucks and then the Eagles beat them.
no, no, the last matchup, the Bucks won. I don't know what you're talking about.
uh, Pepperidge Farm, remember?
I've picked against Baker twice this season, and you've gotten two picks on me from that. So I'm
No,
picking against
one
Baker.
and one. 1-1. All right. When we might disagree on this one, the 3-2 Seahawks at the 4-1 Jags. Sam Darnold and the Seahawks looked great last week. They were this close to winning, but an interception by Sam Darnold late in the game. Jacksonville has to be feeling great, coming off a Monday Night Football win over Mahomes and the Chiefs. getting that 99-yard pick six by Devin Lloyd.
So good.
Um, are the Jags really that good? Are they going to win this game and get to 5-1 and keep it rolling? Seattle's very capable of stealing this game. How do you see it?
I mean, Jacksonville's O-line has looked great. Trevor Lawrence has only been sacked 6 times over the season so far, over 5 games. But I mean, this Seattle defense looked rough, trying to get pressure on Baker Mayfield. He was only hit
Yeah,
once over 38 dropbacks. Like they could not get to him for anything. So I think that's a fun matchup. I think that's definitely been a focus over the past week for the Seattle defense. Like, no, you got to get to the quarterback, guys.
yeah.
Um, and you know,
They're
I'm
they're
not the
getting
biggest
DeMarcus Lawrence back, so that might help.
yeah, and I'm not the biggest Trevor Lawrence fan, but he does have an arm when he has time. So if they get him time, I could see him popping off some big plays.
Yeah,
And their ground game is fifth in the NFL, 137 rushing yards per game. This will be, I think, the best 10 test so far of the season for them of that run game. We've got the third best run defense in the league. And I love me a good run defense versus a running game. Like that's when you see how good your run game really is. Like if
yeah,
you're running through a Swiss cheese defensive front, like I'm not impressed. But you face
yeah.
like a solid run defense, like that's how you know if your running backs are actually good. But I think Sam Darnold is going to be throwing some deep passes in this one. I don't see him leaning on the run game quite as much after it wasn't very effective last week. So I see Sam Darnold just popping off some deep plays. So I'm gonna have to pick Seattle here, but
Real quick, let me. So
talk me
Seattle's
out of it.
secondary is a little banged up. They might be
Mhm.
without Reek Woolen, Devin Witherspoon, and Julian Love. So that could be a factor, the secondary. But Kenneth Walker, I think Seattle needs to stay balanced because Kenneth Walker is such a weapon
They've
in the
been,
running game.
but they've been bouncing back and forth well between him and Charbonnet, who's had a couple great games as well.
Yeah,
So I like
he's
their run game, but with the way it didn't get going last week, I think, and with the way it matches up against the Jacksonville defense, I can see more run or more deep passes
pass.
than
Yeah,
relying on the run game in this one. And
is
also
it?
Seattle has won 8 straight road games.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're better on the road than
They
at
are,
home. That's
which is crazy
crazy.
to me because like living out in the Seattle area, like it used to be such a huge home field advantage with
Yes.
how loud it gets in their
Yeah.
stadium. But it's crazy that how much that's shifted over the years.
Yeah, the Beast Quake and the Legion of Boom.
Hmm.
Those days it was all home field advantage.
Yeah, it was insane to try to play there. Like I remember
Yeah.
watching games on TV and like Aaron Rodgers is like, "What?" Like he can't
Yeah.
hear anything.
So are you sticking with Seattle here?
Ugh, don't make me second guess myself. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I have Seattle with a question mark, so
All
real
right.
real sure about this one, guys. But yeah, I'll stick with it.
I mean, you got a great point on the Seattle on the road. They're much better on the road. I am happy to be sticking with Jacksonville though, and I'm going to
Yeah.
ride with Jacksonville. They really impressed me against Kansas City, and they had some things. If they clean it up, if
Mhm.
Trevor Lawrence doesn't fumble at the goal line, if they get that pass interference instead of that interception,
Yeah.
the Jags might have won that game easily. You
My
know?
issue is the Chiefs looked so freaking bad in that game that I wasn't impressed by Jacksonville. I was more
Yeah.
impressed by how shitty the Chiefs were. Like,
Yeah.
if this was the Chiefs from a few seasons ago, I would have been very impressed. But the Chiefs shot themselves in the foot so many
Yeah.
times in that game. When they had, what, 12 penalties compared to
Yeah.
Jacksonville only having four? The Chiefs
Yeah.
kept trying to let Jacksonville win. They were handing that game away every opportunity. So I think that
And
game said more about Kansas City than Jacksonville. So I'm not entirely sold on Jacksonville yet.
yeah.
Like I know
Yeah,
their
this will
record
if
is
they
what it
win this
is.
one, if they win this one, that'll open my eyes more. And
Yeah.
so, all right, we disagree on one so far, Jags and Seahawks.
Yeah, I
Let's
think
go
we've got a
to
couple more coming up.
yeah, for sure. Later on, we'll definitely have some. The 3-2 Rams at the injury hit 1-4 Ravens. Once again, Lamar Jackson and Roquan Smith are out, so Cooper Rush gets the start. The Ravens are getting Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton back in the secondary, but the Rams are going to be pissed off with how they lost that 49ers game. I expect the Rams to come out ready to go. And I think they
Yeah.
win this game easily.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Stafford has been so good this season, leading the league with over 1,500 passing yards. He's only 50
Yeah.
yards away from passing Dan Marino for the ninth most in NFL history. Like
Wow.
I think he's going to have a fantastic game here. And the Ravens
They
have,
just look bad.
oh, their defense is so bad. They've allowed 177 points, which is their most over any five-game span in the franchise's history.
Jeez.
What a rough way to start the season.
The writing is on the wall. There's a good chance this is John Harbaugh's last year as the Ravens head coach. If they don't turn this around, 1-5, because it's not just the bad record and how bad they're playing.
Mhm.
This team had championship expectations going into the season. So when you are this bad, and I could easily see Harbaugh getting fired. So we
Yeah, and
agree
I
on the
mean,
win.
you just look at their running game this season compared to
Yeah,
how they've been. I mean, Derrick Henry has been held to 50 or less yards in four straight games. It's the worst
yeah.
run of his career. And then they're coming up against the 10th ranked run defense. They've only allowed one running back to gain over 90 yards.
Well, and
Like,
I think with Henry's struggles so far to start the season and uncharacteristic fumbles, now that Keaton Mitchell is back, get him
mhm.
more involved,
Yeah.
you know?
It's good to have a second option and to go back and forth between the two.
Yeah,
But I mean, this is a good rushing defense that they're playing. So I mean, Tony Pollard is the only person to put up 90 or more against them. So
yeah.
I think it's just going to be a rough game. Unless Matt Stafford is having a we've seen a couple sloppy interception heavy games in his career. Unless he has one of those, I don't see the Baltimore Ravens being able to pull this one off at all.
Yeah, they're talking about them being desperate, so maybe they go all out, some all out blitzes and stuff. Just try to go all or nothing, you know?
Yeah. And it sucks too
But
because like it as much as there is dysfunction in the coaching and the Ravens offense isn't good and going, this poor defense is so injury ridden. Like
yeah,
it sucks.
yeah. So we agree on that one. Let's go to this game. I know you're excited about the 1-4 Titans at the 1-4 Raiders.
Y'all, for
Uh,
my pick, I literally wrote IDC. Like I'm not even picking a team. Like I just don't care. I don't want to watch this game. Catch me watching 0 seconds of this one. I just ugh,
hey, the
boring.
Titans are trying to get on a winning streak after starting 0-4. They're trying to, they got their first win last week.
Two wins
The
is not a
Raiders,
streak. Two wins is not a streak. No. Mm-mm.
the Raiders gave up 40 points, 40-6 last week. Geno
Oh,
Smith leading the league in interceptions.
does he
Pete
have nine?
Carroll,
He's got
yeah,
nine
nine.
interceptions.
Yeah, through what, 5 games?
It's so bad.
Not good. Pete Carroll reportedly unhappy with some of the play calling by Chip
Weird.
Kelly, and that goes back to Chip Kelly. Remember when he was in the NFL the first time
Mhm.
with the Eagles and the 49ers, and he was a bust. I
Yeah.
don't know if he's
I don't
built for
think
the
he's cut out for the
NFL.
NFL, but it's crazy. You look at all the history and all the tenure this coaching staff has. They
Yeah,
should be so much better. Like Gino's gonna Gino. Like he's gonna be what he is, but this team should be so much better with all of that history and how much coaching experience that staff has. It is a
yeah,
damn shame that they're this bad.
yeah, for sure. So, do we expect them to play better? Ashton Genty getting more involved, especially in the passing game. That's nice to see. The Raiders will be without Brock Bowers again, though, so that's a big loss. I mean, yeah, this is a very much a toss-up. It could go either way. I wrote Raiders down, but I could easily see the Titans too. So I don't know.
Yeah. Um, I I wrote down Tennessee, but I very, very little uh conviction behind that.
You
Um,
pick Titans, I'll pick Raiders. Another game we can disagree on. How about that?
Vegas going 0-4 in the red zone is just such a huge red flag for me last week versus the Colts. Like they're
Yeah,
31st in red zone conversion. Like,
they're really bad. I honestly do think the Titans are like the better team
yeah.
right now.
But I
But
do like Ashton Genty. I mean, he leads all rookies in rushing attempts and rushing yards. Crosby is always good. I think he's um I mean, I think he's gonna lay out Ward a few times. Like, Ken
yeah,
Ward gets sacked 10% of the time. Like, Max Crosby's going to turn him into a pancake. So that's fine. Tennessee's O-line is heinous. Matt Crosby is a monster. Like that matchup is terrible, but the Raiders don't know how to score.
Yeah. And
So,
turnovers, short
and
field.
turnovers. Like I feel like they're just gonna hand the game back to Tennessee, even if Tennessee tries to lose. Like it's
I-
gonna be ugly. I think it's gonna
If
be a hideous game.
what I'm betting on is that Pete Carroll took Chip Kelly aside and said, "Hey, your quarterback is leading the league in interceptions. Let's stop throwing the ball so much and let's hand it off to the best running back in the draft." And he's shown that he can break off some big runs. He did it to my Bears. Let's feed Ashton Genty. That should be their offensive game plan. So I'll take the Raiders there. So we disagree on two. Let's see if we disagree on this one. The 2-3 Bengals at your 2-1-1 Packers. Green Bay, it's crazy to say they haven't had a win since week 2, so they're hungry. They're ready to go get a win
Yeah, but
and
we
look
also had
good
a bye
doing
week in there. You made that sound way worse than it is, first of all.
it.
We've had one
There's a
loss and one
tie
tie since
in
week 2. Shut the fuck up. No.
there.
Going into
But
week 6, they haven't had a win since week 2. Okay.
I know you're worried because here comes old man Joe Flacco trying to go 2-0 against the
If we
Packers.
lose to Joe Flacco twice in a month, I will be wearing a paper bag on the next episode. I will not be able to show my face. And it's like I said earlier, we didn't lose to Joe Flacco. Like neither quarterback did a goddamn thing in that matchup. It was all defense. Um, but I, Green Bay better win. I am absolutely picking Green Bay here. If they lose, I will be heated. Um, I mean,
No, there's no reason the Packers should lose
there's
this game.
literally no reason.
Yeah,
Like
they should win this game big. They should win this game by 20.
the Dallas
Um,
tie was 40-40. Like
yeah, they
our
can put
offense,
up points.
what
Yeah,
but it's crazy because we went from like that game and the Cleveland game, like we were all defense in one game, all offense in the other. So hopefully the bye week we learned how to do both at the same time in the same game.
Mhm.
Our run game hasn't really gotten going this season. Josh Jacobs says he's not really concerned. I think maybe they were looking ahead a little bit to the bye week. But we've been 18th in rushing yards through the first 4 games. Like that's not at all what we looked like last year. And our strength last year was having options on offense. Like Josh Jacobs had an amazing season last year. So I would like to see that get going. Um,
To
I
me, I don't think it's a lack of the running game getting going. I think a lack of running the ball. I think Matt LaFleur has been
I
too
was just
pass
gonna
happy.
say I don't really like what we've been doing with our play calls this season. I
Yeah,
know we've had some young receivers we're trying to kind of break in because our number one and number two are out. And
yeah,
I have an announcement. I have to stop calling Dontavian Wicks Droptavian Wicks because he has had 0 drops this season.
there you
He
go.
and Romeo Dubs, have both had amazing seasons. So their new nicknames are Romeo Dubs and Don Wick. So apologize for their shitty nicknames last year. He can keep wearing his big fat helmet as long as Romeo keeps catching and doing Romeo things. I have no complaints. But the Packers should get a blowout win here.
Yeah, yeah, no defense in Cincy whatsoever.
Yeah. Thank God.
Feed Matthew Golden and Josh Jacobs and those weapons. Yeah, I agree. Packers should win easily. Here's a really fun matchup. The 4-1 49ers at the 4-1 Bucks. And I know the Niners are decimated with injuries, yet they just keep on finding ways to win, inventing ways to win games. But here comes the MVP, through 5 weeks, Baker Mayfield, and the Offensive Rookie of the Year through 5 weeks, Emeka Ibuka. I don't see the Niners' luck continuing in Tampa Bay this week.
It is so crazy to me how tight their games, like for both teams, have been. So
Yeah,
the 49ers, each of those games have been decided by 5 or fewer points. The Bucks, 6 points or fewer. Like it's been so close in those wins for both teams. All 4 of the Bucks wins, last minute, fun, exciting. The
yeah,
vibes on both of these teams are so good. I'm stoked about this matchup. Um,
yeah,
I I mean, we saw the Bucks lose to this 49ers team last year, but it was a very different team on the field.
yeah.
And I think the Bucks should absolutely pull this off. The teams they've been beating and the way they've been beating, I feel like the 49ers have been sneaking out some wins, but I think the Bucks are just the better team overall. They're a healthier team, and the 49ers are absolutely miraculous at pulling people in through injuries. They've
Yeah.
been fantastic. Um, but I think the 49ers four straight wins versus the Bucks streak that they've had going back to 2019, I think that's broken this week.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout for whatever
No, it's going
reason.
to be last minute. We've seen these
Yeah,
teams play. It's going to come
yeah.
down to the 2 minute warning in the fourth quarter or overtime. Yeah.
And watch Baker be clutch again and win for the fifth straight game-winning touchdown drive.
Well,
So,
yeah, and the 49ers have sacrificed their entire team to keep Christian McCaffrey healthy, and Tampa Bay has allowed the third most receiving yards per game to running backs. So Christian's going to get open.
yeah.
He's going to keep them in it.
The Bucks, to their credit, have done a great job of next man up as well. Mike
Yeah.
Evans, Chris Godwin, and with Bucky Irving, we talked about Bucky Irving being out and how that was
Yeah,
going to
that's why
hurt
I
them
picked
last
against him
week.
last week
Yeah, but
because I
Rashad
thought
White,
Bucky would be the straw that broke the camel's back. Uh,
yeah, but
I should have
Rashad
had faith
White
in Bake
filled
We
in
Trust,
so
man.
nicely.
I
Yeah.
fucked up.
So we agree on the Bucks there. Let's go to Sunday Night Football. This is a very intriguing matchup. The 4-1 Lions come in on a four-game winning streak. They've been throwing up, 50, 40, 35, a lot of points every week. Here come the Chiefs, who gave up 31 to the Jags. They're below 500 at 2-3. Um, but this is going to be a great matchup, and Goff is 2-0 in his career head to head against Patrick Mahomes. Do you
Well,
think he gets to 3-0?
I do. This Chiefs team is just so dysfunctional this season. They have so many issues. I think it's going to be a close game again. But you look at this Detroit team. They're having a great season this year. They lost in week one. Who cares? But they've been quietly the best, most consistent team in the NFL since week one. And I
Mhm.
have my thoughts about week one. It's garbage. I don't even look at back to week one when looking at how a team has performed over the season. But you look at how this Lions team that we've been watching with these epic draft picks over the last couple of years. In 2023, week one, they faced the reigning Super Bowl champs, marched into Arrowhead Stadium and beat them 21 to 20. And that was kind of the thing that got this Lions team attention and got all the
Yeah,
eyes on them and like their rookies in that season. Like everyone started watching them like, "Oh, Detroit's good now? Hold up." Like
yeah.
and I feel like that kind of got the ball rolling and got the hype focused on Detroit. And they've been the same team for 3 seasons now. And I think they're just so much more cohesive than the Chiefs are this season.
I agree. I All signs are pointing to Detroit. The common sense says Detroit should win this game. They've got a history of beating the Chiefs. They're playing the best football, especially offensively. But here's where you zig, I zag. I'm taking the Chiefs at home here. I think the Chiefs are desperate. They do
Mhm.
not want to be 2-4. That division is still wide open. The Chargers have come back down to earth.
Yeah,
Denver's
but
trying to
we've
separate.
seen how sloppy Patrick Mahomes get when he's pressured, when he feels desperate. Like he throws picks
Well,
though.
he has shown up. You can say that that's true in some scenarios when he gets pressured, he'll make a mistake, but he's also at times played his best football at the highest stakes.
Do you know what's crazy? Jared
Huh.
Goff is Patrick Mahomes' boogeyman. He is the only quarterback that Mahomes has faced more than one time and does not have a win against ever.
Yeah, that's
Every other
crazy.
quarterback he's played more than once, he's beaten at least one time. Jared Goff, he's never beat him.
Well, that ends on Sunday night. Sunday
Mm.
night football, everyone's going to be watching. Chris Collinsworth is going to be
Ugh.
praising Mahomes for
It's gonna be
everything he does.
slobbing on, yeah, God, Sunday night football games are about to start getting muted in my house. They have said some of the most idiotic crap the last couple weeks. I'm like, he did not just say that out loud. Like,
Yeah,
I
especially
can't
when it's a
remember who it
two
was,
too.
but in the last couple weeks, someone was like, yeah, that was a first down. Well, it was almost a first down. They just needed to move it a little bit further, and it would have been. I was like, shut up. Just you don't have to talk all the time. Like it was. Oh my
Or
God.
like when he was praising Mahomes for throwing it backwards and
Yeah.
then
He was like, that was a great play.
recovering
You did great work there. I'm
it.
like, no. Oh God, I
Yeah.
cannot.
But yeah, give me the Chiefs here. I mean, I don't the Lions, you know I'm a Lions hater, but they're talented. This could be a Goff turnover game. You know how Goff it can
Yeah,
be
five
great.
and five, and they still win.
Yeah, but that is so fluky. He's not gonna keep that up. Give me the
But like every
Chiefs.
time you talk about golf turnover games, his worst turnover game ever, he fucking won. So like your
Yeah,
argument
but
is null and void. I'm sorry.
well, people forget. Remember that Commanders playoff game last
Oh,
year? That
that
was
was so
bad.
bad.
And that
Yeah.
was four turnovers in that game. So I just think the Chiefs are going to be pissed off. I think they're
They have
embarrassed.
to win. Like
Yeah, I
their
think they're embarrassed
season.
by the loss to Jacksonville, and plus they've got tape of Kelsey not chasing down the interception,
Oh
of
my
Chris
God.
Jones just
Chris
standing there.
Jones setting
Yeah,
this, adjusting his manhood and
yeah,
watching.
yeah.
I feel like they don't give a shit this season. Sorry, pardon my French, but that team just does not seem to care. Like as a whole, yeah, they should be desperate. I just feel like they got so accustomed to winning. They're like, oh, we've got a couple Super Bowls, we're good. Like I just
Well,
feel like emotionally everyone's taking a year off.
I think if the coaches are smart, which I believe they are, Andy Reid, Matt Nagy, more so Andy Reid, I think he's going to take Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones, and have a talk with them and be like, look, you got on tape right now of you not hustling, and it's a bad look. We got to show up and all play as a team and get this big win here. Get this win. We'll be back to 500. We could be a game back of the division lead. All we have to do is beat Detroit here. You know Mahomes wants to get that monkey off his back and beat Goff. So we're going to disagree on that one. Let's go Chiefs. That's the only time you're going to hear me say that all season long. Um, Let's talk about the 4-1 Bills at the 2-2 Falcons. Buffalo coming off a loss that they believe that they self-inflicted, that they
Yeah.
did to themselves.
I
And
mean, it
so
was
I
their
think they're
first time they
gonna,
didn't put up 30 points. Their offense wasn't clicking. Josh Allen had an
yeah,
off day. Turnovers, like they had three turnovers in that game.
yeah,
Uh, And I would say we would see an improvement here, but the Falcons team has six takeaways this season. They've been
yeah.
really good at that on defense. But I think this game should be very lopsided. Unless the Bills have a very off night, they should absolutely pull this one off.
I don't think it's going to be lopsided, but I do have the Bills winning. I think Atlanta can match up with them decently. I think Bijan Robinson can cause problems. Michael Penix, when he's on his game, can be a very solid quarterback. But is Josh Allen going to be pissed off, and is he just going to go Superman mode? Is James
My
Cook
issue with
going
the Falcons is they haven't faced a quarterback like Josh Allen so far this season.
to?
Like
Yeah,
statistically, they're doing really well. Their defense has been excellent against the pass. Fewest passing yards allowed per game, but like look at the quarterbacks they've played so far. Like I'm not
yeah,
like
and
you played the
and
Panthers.
Josh Allen
Like,
can make that defense look bad. If he's on his game,
yeah.
and James Cook as well. So I agree with you. I got the Bills here in Atlanta, but I do think I think it could be close, but
I
we'll
just feel
see.
like the Falcons division is making them look better than they are.
Yeah, and that's the issue with the NFC South almost every year.
Yeah. It's like your
But
record says one thing, but I
yeah.
don't know.
So we'll agree with that. And then, I mean, I'm not even really gonna be watching much of that game. I'll have it on, but that's gonna be the second TV. The number one TV is the Bears at the Commanders. Chicago finally getting healthy after their bye week, and I think they're gonna be pissed off because of the Hail Mary loss last year.
Mhm.
I think the Bears are gonna be ready to go in this game, and I'm gonna pick the Bears to go into DC and get this win.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, the tipped Hail Mary is definitely a moment of contention. Um, that I mean, that would have been an awesome game winning play there.
Yeah.
I don't know about this one. I mean, it's
No Terry McLaurin.
no, I
And
was gonna I Quarterback wise, I would roll with Jayden Daniels. I didn't think he would be back at 100% last week, so I picked against him.
They looked good
And
last week.
he
Yeah,
looked really good. But
yeah,
what I was hearing about like how he was coming back to practice and how he's limited at practice, I didn't think he was 100%. He was
yeah,
fully 100%. I fucked up that one. I think I read between the lines a little too much. But this Washington run game is so
yes,
better this season than it has been historically. And I mean, they're leading the league right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
And
Bill Chasky Merritt,
they've been
Jaden
fantastic.
Daniels,
But do you know what Chicago's biggest weakness is? Being
Randy.
31st in defense against the run.
Yeah. Um, that's the thing. I think it's going to have to be a shootout. I think it's going to be high
Yeah,
scoring. I
I
think the
think it'll
Bears
have to be.
offense can put up points on them, but I think the Commanders are going to get their points too. So
I do love that this is the first starting quarterback matchup in Monday Night Football history where we have the top two picks from the same draft class playing against each other. I think that's
uh,
fun.
yeah,
Number one and number two.
that's going to be cool. On national TV, the media is going to be all over it.
It'll be fun. I
Yeah.
I might bounce back and forth because I'm still confused as to who exactly Atlanta is. So I'll probably tune into the other one a bit or have my screen split because I don't like they're Jekyll and Hyde. I have no
Yeah,
idea. Like they'll drop 30 one week and then zero and I have no idea.
yeah,
So I'm intrigued about how they play against a good team.
yeah,
But I I want to pick against the Bears just to spite you.
yeah.
But it
Do
could
it.
go either way here. So I'm gonna roll with Washington and we'll see how it plays out just so we can be, coming down to the wire with our picks.
So one, two. Do we disagree on four again?
Yes.
Bears, Commanders.
Seattle, Tennessee, Detroit, Washington.
All right, cool. So one game between us, four games deciding this week. So when I'm up 3 games next week, I'll be celebrating.
As
I
long
think
as
it's
you
much
didn't pick
more.
Cincinnati, if I have to wear a brown paper bag and you get to lord it over me that we are tied up in picks or you're ahead of me in picks and my team lost to Cincinnati, I'm gonna quit the podcast.
No, you're not allowed to wear a brown paper bag on the show. If you do that, no one's gonna watch. So,
I'll take it off. We'll just talk about the Packers game first and then it'll come off. I'll just wear my Bills shirt and my brown paper bag. There. Well,
but it's gonna be a great week. I'm very excited, and it's fun to be that we're close in picks because it makes it a lot more interesting than when you got a 20 game lead and it's just like you know.
but
So
it's just so weird. I'm not used to being mediocre. So I came down to your
well,
level and I'm not a fan.
I liked you winning year one. You know, that was great. That was awesome. Year two, it was like, what is
I
going on?
I
Amanda's
whooped
really
your
good at
ass.
this.
Like it made you look bad. People are like, "Oh, Alex doesn't know ball." Never mind.
Yeah,
Let's watch
Abe
something
ripping
else.
on me and Hugh Jackson. So I said this offseason, I'm like, this is my year. Enough of this. So we'll see if I can do it. But
So the reason the NFL season is so messed up this year is because Alex hexed it. So Alex, apologize to the listeners. This is your fault.
I don't have those powers. You're the only one with those powers.
Don't tell them. No,
But
Alex gets annoyed when I say things like, I think they should throw a pick here. And then the quarterback does.
and
And
then
it's like
they
the
do it
first one of the game, he's like,
immediately.
stop it. Like,
Yeah.
this should be a safety. Like, I do that all the time and it freaks Alex out. Oh, well.
But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Next week we'll have Chad Brown on for our picks. Abe will be back again as always. Well, I'm working on a couple interviews, so hopefully those land. And we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, follow along all season long, and have a great week, guys. Peace out.